Now you can use the water props that are available and come with iClone now. They're not perfect, but you can utilize them, and they'll work in certain respects. The reflections are a little strange in some situations, but you can use them. Now in this scene, what I did, I had created this old pool prop years ago, and we'll take a look at it and see what we've done to make this water work for our scene. Now here's the pool prop, as you can see, and I have a terrain that I used, and I'll show you that. We'll turn off the sky dome so we can see a little better. There's the pool prop. Turn that off, and here's the terrain. Now what we've done, of course, is load in a terrain. Turn off the water. Let's take a look at the terrain, and what we've done, I've added an opacity map right here, which was simply created in my paint program. Simply a black hole on a white field, saved as a JPEG. I utilized that opacity map for my terrain, and for the terrain I used a mesh medium. These are some of the older terrains, and they're not great, but they seem to work pretty fine. And I think I used grassland, and I changed the texture map on it there. But the crucial thing was I added this opacity map, which gives me a hole in the terrain, and since my prop pool goes below the terrain, now I can add the water. Now when you add your water, you'll see you probably have to adjust it. So I'm going to go ahead and add a new water there. Now you have a lot of waters to choose from. These are old legacy props that, as I say, pose some issues with the new versions of iClone. I just started noticing the reflections are very odd. Hopefully that's going to get fixed real soon with some new options. I think I chose the video diffuse spring water. I'm going to load that in, and let's turn off our terrain, and we'll see obviously it's a huge element. We don't need it to be that large, so we'll come over and modify that water. Choose the water, modify, and I think I made it maybe 30. And of course the texture is going to change wildly, and you'll have to adjust your texture in relation to the size and get it to work. Take the speed down. Wave strength may need to be adjusted, but what we'll do is let's take a look at it, and obviously it has some animation to it. We'll adjust a lot of these parameters. I don't think you'll need fog necessarily, and we'll play with reflections. So let's go back, turn on our terrain, let's turn on the pool, and now we can see what we've got here. Let me turn on my character so I have a reference object to roll around here. Okay, and now of course we probably want to raise the level of the water, and we can easily do that in the modify, or you can actually grab it, but we'll do it here for now. and get it where it works for you. And play it. That speed is a little fast. I wish we could play more with that. Wave size can be adjusted. The wave strength might help a little bit. You can adjust your color maybe a little bit. Darken it some, like so. And looking pretty good. You can adjust that reflection capability. Now the problem that you're going to have with reflections is if you put your avatar in the water, possibly going to notice some unusual reflection issues. Let's go back to our water and adjust that. You see, as you adjust that strength, notice you have a strange reflection going up, which is not right. And I've just noticed that with the newer versions of iClone. I think that just recently happened. That used to not be the case. But if you make your bump map strength, a little bit more, it won't be quite as noticeable, hopefully. And if you distort it some more. So that's an issue if you have someone in the water. And it gets a bit wonky in that respect. But out of the water it seems to work okay. So you select your proper avatar and put them out of the water. Their reflections seem to be better in the water, like so. So that's one way you can utilize the water that is available in iClone. Not perfect by any means, but it can be utilized.